Hello, everybody. Welcome to Review a Day, episode number 141 for Monday, March the 23rd, 2009. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Review a Day, the video blog where I review movies. My name is Leland Brunger, and thank you guys so much for joining me. Happy Monday. Mondays suck, but I'm going to make things better with a movie review. I mentioned last week, I believe, that I bought Powerpuff Girls, the complete series, and I was going to get back and tell you guys if it still holds up or not. And guess what? Powerpuff Girls is radder than ever. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a comic book nerd now, but that show is fucking awesome. And I'm really glad I picked up that the box set for like $45 or something like that. Quite a steal. So if you're a Powerpuff Girls fan or you grew up watching that show and you're a nerd like me and you want to watch it again, go get it because it's great. The flick I'm reviewing for you guys today is Duplicity. And this is the newest film from writer-director Tony Gilroy, who did Michael Clayton, which was a movie I loved. I loved George Clooney in that movie. It's great. He also wrote a number of the Bourne films, I believe. This film also stars Clive Owen, Julia Roberts, Tom Wilkinson, and Paul Giamatti. And this film is about Clive Owen is an ex-MI6 corporate spy, and Julia Roberts is an ex-CIA corporate spy. And they kind of have a couple, throughout time, they hook up a couple times, and they decide that they're going to rob their bosses of $40 million and kind of live off of that the rest of their lives. I really, really wanted to like this movie. I really wanted to like it a lot, because I think it has so many really good things going for it. It has great actors and some really strong performances. Clive Owen is someone who I think is great, and he's pretty solid in this movie. Even when he's in movies I don't like The International, I always like him, which is always very strange to me that even though I didn't like The International, I thought he was great in it. Julia Roberts is someone I'm not always super keen on, but when she's in great movies, like I would say Aaron Brockovich is pretty damn good, or Charlie Wilson's War, which is one of my favorite films of the last few years. I love her in that, so she's great. She can put in a great performance, and she does in this film. Also, Tom Wilkinson is probably in like 3 or 4 scenes, but he's great in all of them. Paul Giamatti is in much more than Tom Wilkinson, and Paul Giamatti is always great, and he turns in a great Paul Giamatti performance. I probably wouldn't expect anything less from him than what he gives in this performance. You also in this film have Tony Gilroy, who is a very competent director. Michael Clayton's really well directed, as is this film. It looks fantastic. He puts to use a lot of split screen kind of Thomas Crown Affair style to it. I saw this movie with my parents, and I leaned over to my dad and I said, you know, it's good to know that people are still ripping off the Steve McQueen Thomas Crown Affair, because that movie is fucking awesome. The problem that I have with Duplicity is the screenplay. And it's very Tony Gilroy. It feels kind of like Michael Clayton light. It's not super great. It never once really hit me on a gut level. It is far too smart and clever for its own good, and I think it kind of this movie keeps you at arm's length, and it never really lets you get into it. The only scene I really felt invested in this entire movie is there's a scene towards the end. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's Julia Roberts like running around an office building trying to find a ringing phone. And that scene, to me, had more momentum and tension in it than the entire movie. And I know a lot of people are going to see this film and probably think it's worth it just to see Clive Owen and Julia Roberts kind of trade witty repartee back and forth, but I didn't think it was worth it. And I honestly got a little sick of it by the end. The second time they meet in the beginning of the film, the movie started to feel like it was coming to life, and the film doesn't play to its strength. I think had this movie had a much simpler heist structure to it, I think it would have had much more momentum, and I think it would have been easier to get into. And I think had the movie really played to its strengths, which are Clive Owen and Julia Roberts, I think it would have been much better. But I feel like there's so much of this movie that takes time. There's like a 10-minute sequence in this film where they're just describing how this guy kind of hacked like a scanner or a printer or something like that, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out why I should ever give a shit about any of that. And it sounds like cool spy technobabble crap, but at the end of the day, in a film like this, when this, the tone is kind of wonky, where we have these really kind of slow burn Tony Gilroy sequences next to really kind of funny almost Howard Hawks, His Girl Friday kind of witty banter back and forth between two characters who don't always super get along. I don't know. This movie didn't hit me on a gut level. I wasn't super into it. I was kind of bored a lot of the time. I give Duplicity a 2.5 out of 5. I would say skip it or rent it, to be honest. I wouldn't rush out and see this. If you guys like this review, make sure to head over to nitpickit.com to check out my podcast. Also, if you like this review, make sure to give me some star ratings there somewhere. And make sure and subscribe. I would love you for it. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow.